It's your boy D Wells in the building, and I'm here with the illustrious, the voluptuous, the industrious, sick.
Sage, hey fam, and happy Father's
Happy
Day.
Father's Day,
So,
y'all.
you guys are probably going to be listening to this on the day after Father's Day. Um,
Juneteenth.
it, Juneteenth, we got a lot going on this weekend as black people, but we're so glad that you're listening and you tuned in. So, happy Father's Day, happy Juneteenth, happy celebration of whatever you're celebrating this weekend. Um, and D. Wells had the opportunity to do some very honorable, illustrious things this weekend. I'm going to give him the opportunity to talk about that. Sage is going to come back a little later, and I'm going to pay special tribute to all of our fathers and uncles and cousins and everybody who takes time to participate in our community and help make us better. But D, what did you do this weekend?
I had the opportunity to, I do a little this and that, and so I did some of my that on the side. And one of the events that I had the opportunity to present my that to was a wonderful event in Thomasville. It was the second, and forgive me guys for not remembering. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I called you guys to get the title, but at the end of the day, it was paying homage to the town of Thomasville, North Carolina. And in this particular event, I had the opportunity to meet the mayor of Thomasville, and he's a wonderful gentleman by the name of Raleigh. And I also had the opportunity to meet with the councilwoman and a bunch of wonderful folks. I never knew that there was so much rich heritage in these communities. I come from a place to whereas everything is so far and so few, so to be able to have a contact and be immersed in such rich heritage, I found myself in a blessing. And I just want to thank the town of Thomasville and the wonderful people that I've come across from. And I'm just gonna run through my phone real quick, and forgive me for taking the time to do this, but Shelly Skeen and her sister, they're twins, and I just came across a bunch of wonderful folks. And in a moment, I'm gonna play an excerpt from my main man, my new main man, Ryan Gill. Um, they were hosting a program at the what do you call this place? Hold on, I'm just gonna thumb through my phone real quick. It's a mansion. It was a beautiful place, and I feel privileged to be there because I had some goals when I came down here to North Carolina to more or less just touch the people and also give cadence and what's the word I'm looking for? Some type of to set the fire under what I've been trying to do. If you have a drive inside of you, it's important that you put yourself in position to address the drive. And one of the things that I want to do, that I wanted to do in this new chapter of my life, is to become a little bit more active in activism. And so I had the opportunity to put my toe in the water, and it felt fine. I wanted to jump all in, but the event was held at, I'll tell you in a second.
Finch House, was it?
What's that?
The Finch House.
The Finch House. The Finch House in Thomasville, the mansion. And it was a great experience. I was in the library. I went upstairs in the quarters. It was all on the premise. And I could actually, I could just feel the undertow of just the heritage and the legacy and just the different events that happened. I just felt like, not that ancestors were talking, but at the same time, there were just things that were happening that were worth having conversation. And everyone was there. It was a communion. It was a festive event. Everybody ate. There was entertainment, and this is the second anniversary, and I look forward to being a part of the next and the third. Maybe even give some spoken word or some type of entertainment factor. But Sage, I wish you were there. I'm mad that I I was there on another area of business, and
It's okay, but I guarantee that Sage will be there for the next event because we're going to make our mark. But it also let me know because I had the opportunity to tell you that last week I interacted with a gentleman from Thomasville,
mm.
and
Oh wait,
I neglected.
Councilwoman Wendy Sellers. I'm sorry, so I
Hey,
just want to make
Wendy.
sure I said that. Hello, Councilwoman. It's a pleasure to meet you.
But it seems that there's a spirit of service in Thomasville.
It really is.
The gentleman that I met at my job was buying like 100 pairs of sandals to take to Latin America, and I didn't get his name, but if anyone knows a barber in Thomasville who recently took a trip to Latin
You say he's
America,
Latin. You say
he's Hispanic.
Hispanic. Okay.
But I was so impressed by the fact that he took this upon himself. He didn't work for any charity, but he told me he was a barber in Thomasville, and he was that day getting on a plane and taking these sandals, and he had sandals from infants all the way up to teenage sizes, just being a blessing to people in underserved communities in Latin America. And he was from Thomasville. So if you guys know this barber, shout out to him. Tell him to hit us up at the Chop Chop Shop. We want to speak to him, we want to talk to him, and send some business his way. You guys are doing wonderful things there, and we're so very, very proud that I've had the opportunity to network. D. Wells has had the opportunity to network, and we want to find out what else is going on in Thomasville that we can share with the rest of the world.
And shouts out to the Democratic leader Jacqueline Johnson. It was also a pleasure to be in your acquaintance. And Anthony, thank you for inviting me, man. Anytime you guys need us, we're there. Next time I'm coming with full capacity. The Chop Shop Shop will be there, and we support you in your endeavors. Um, One particular gentleman that I want to speak about, which I'm going to let you guys hear some of the stirring spoken word and the history lessons and the thought provoking, and it just take time to just reflect, because honestly we hear so much on CNN, we hear so much on Fox, we hear so much on TV, we see so much on social media, but we don't hear from the core anymore, or the roots, because they're being overshadowed. And I'd like to introduce you to a gentleman by the name of Ryan Gill, and just powerful words spoken, and it took me back to my the days when I was wearing the African medallions, and I had dreads, and what I'm saying, back in the 80s and the 90s. Well, it was back when black words were powerful. It was back when Afrocentricity was a beautiful thing. It wasn't shunned on, and it wasn't just about money and acquiring. It was about community and different things of that nature. And it just felt, I hate to use the word spiritual, but there was a connectivity there that was uncanny. And I feel blessed and privileged to be a part of it. And I'm way up. I gotta say, my energy is way up, which Sage is slightly annoyed.
When he came here, he was so hyped, and it caught me off guard because he was very quiet when he came in, and then he was like, "Hey, I had the best night," and he went on to tell me about this event that he had the absolute blessing to be a part of, and this excerpt that he's about to share with you guys. When I heard it, it absolutely blessed me. And so what you were saying about, back in the 90s and all of this Afrocentricity that we experienced during that time, it felt, hindsight being 2020, it looked and felt trendy, right? But being where we are now, we understand it wasn't trendy. It never will be trendy.
It was a necessity.
That and
It was like the rudimentary version of our legacy in this country, because here's the
it
thing.
is the verbal continuation of our lineage, and it's a part of what has been lost. So if you look back into African culture, there were always storytellers,
Yes.
and the storytellers kept the lineage going. It kept the history going. Once we got to,
And to that point,
yes,
they don't teach this type of lineage in our schools.
no,
And I'm so glad that,
no,
thank you, Mr. Biden, Mr. President, for making Juneteenth a federal holiday because, Black history is great, but there's so many other contributions that we've made and brought to this country. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just wanted to add that because I once said to you guys, the internet is feeding us our imagination
yes,
and our thoughts. So that being said, if you hear the same cycle, just like, for instance, I'm from New York, right? And my point of reference on the radio is Hot 97 and Power 105, right? They play the same 10 songs. So if they're playing the same 10 songs, right? And that's Drake, that's Future, that's Beyonce,
DJ Khaled.
all of those guys, right? And then what happens if they never tell us about Q-Tip, Fife Didog, the Jungle Brothers? You know what I mean? Like Special Ed, Blastmaster KRS-One, the teachers and the prolific
African
speakers, Africa Bambata, and all of these important these pinnacle figures. The legacy that we have, it's like it's being washed, and so sometimes we have to take time to reflect and even put more on our plate than what the status quo is offering. So I think Juneteenth is a step in the right direction. I'll read a little bit more about Juneteenth to tell you what Juneteenth is all about, but it's a wonderful step in the right direction, and I'm just so positively charged and motivated. I just wanted to share that with you. And Sage.
Just going back to the tradition of verbally um, continuing our story. And per example, so my own personal family lineage, we can trace back, not all the way back to the boat, but definitely to slavery. And I remember going to family reunions every 2 years and hearing the story. And then even just the stories that my mother would tell about her growing up and her great grandmother. And it got to a point like when my kids came around, they're like, oh my goodness, Nanny is telling that story again. But now I realize, no, it's not that story again. That's our history. That's our history. And I need for more of us who know those stories,
Tell them.
continue to tell them
It's important.
to your children and your grandchildren and your great grandchildren. This comes from Africa, storytelling. This is how we keep our story told. This is how we stay alive, because they will tell their history, but we need to tell the story the way that it really, really happened. And it doesn't always correlate with the story that we've been taught.
And if you're going to tell the truth, then you can't omit facts.
You have to tell the facts.
You have to tell it as it came, as it was, and that's how we can get to what it will be. But I'd like to share this with you because it was such a stirring oratory, spoken word. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but when the story was told, it took me back, but I also felt like I was going forward, and I feel challenged to do more of the same or present to you more of the same. So I look forward to more folks stepping up, like the gentleman Ryan. And without further delay, check this out.
That is known throughout the state of North Carolina as a historical black establishment. And it's in disarray and demolition right now. But I am the product of the students who went to an all-black school from kindergarten to high school. So I ain't never been scared of no white oppressor. Let me take you a little bit further. When I look upon your beautiful faces and I think about sometimes they pit black on black in this country here because of that oppressor they call slavery. And I want you to know now, my narrative and my storyline don't come from slave stock. I was free long time before the slave trade. And I knew it as they taught me about slavery in the schoolyard, but they didn't teach me about Africa and the great kings and queens and astrologers and mathematicians and physicists and religious leaders throughout the world of Africa. Because if you look in your Bible, they talk about a land called Ethiopia. And Ethiopia was all of Africa. It wasn't just a little small country. They took a land, a continent, and they split it up. The Spaniards, the Romans and Greeks, they took a continent and they split it up with separation to divide and conquer and rule, and to pit one black skin against another black skin. So think about it. Here in America, in the continent of United States of America, they have these borders. There's a border between Georgia and South Carolina. There's a border between North Carolina and Virginia, and so on and so on. But they call it states here. In Africa, Akabulan, Ethiopia, that's spoken of in the book of Genesis in the Bible. They took a beautiful continent of lovely people and separated it by borders and named countries. Rwanda, Ethiopia, Eritrea, Somalia, Uganda, Rwanda, just to pit black man against black man, black woman against black woman, to divide and rule so that they could take our people from a freeness and send us over here to some type of captivity in America. So guess what? I've always been free. Ever since I decided to say, there's no way I come from a slave quarter. I'm gonna take you a little bit further. Can somebody bring me some water, please? I'm gonna take you a little further. When they talk about the Native Americans, the Blackfoot, the Cherokee, the Iroquois, the Sioux, the Chokawante, thank you, Brethren. They talking about us. We were the original natives of this country because we was traveling all over the world thousands of years before the slave trade. We were already here. We were already here. There was no red-skinned people. They were pigment. They were black people. They are us and us is we and we are them. We are natives of this country. We wasn't stole or sold and brought here. We were already here. The Mexicans and their melanated skin, they don't get skin cancer. They are black. They are African descendants. The Native Americans, they are in the sun. They are black. They are African descendants. And they didn't teach me this in this school. They didn't teach this in this education system. Now, some of you come from HBCUs. Give thanks and praise for that. Because they've been teaching y'all that they've only told us half the truth. Only half the truth to be known. So the sad thing is this. I come to know about Juneteenth about 4 years ago. And I said, okay, They saying the slaves were set free, and down in Texas, they didn't know they were free? Really? I've always been free. I've always been free. I've always been free. So Juneteenth, which I learned on my own by coincidence, because they didn't teach it in the school system, because they want us not to know who we are. They want us to know that we are not the indigenous people of this country. We are not visitors. We were not stole or sold and come to a new land. We had already been here thousands of years before the slave trade. Some of us was already free and they put us under captivity. So, in saying all that, I ain't never been scared. Because Thomasville didn't raise me to be scared. Period. So when they say Juneteenth was an acknowledgement for my brothers and sisters to know they was free in Texas after other brothers and sisters elsewhere have been given their freedom, to me, it's just another example of them still trying to take claim and fame and shame of knowing that we are the original man and the original woman, and every race of people come from us. Every race. The Hispanic race, the Asiatics, the Chinese man, the Japanese, and even the white man. They all come from us. So not only are we natives and indigenous peoples of this country, we have a worldwide citizenship that goes all over, right back to Mama Africa. So, I want y'all to remember, there's a story that came out, Roots by Alex Haley, that we all watched if you're a certain age. And man, when I watched Roots as a little bitty boy, I knew right then and there, I ain't never gonna be scared. Because my people wasn't brought up to be scared. My people have fought for this type of thing here, for me to be here. But I come to find out that the story of Roots actually was a fabricated story. Alex Haley sensationalized a story just to sell books and just to get a movie deal. Now that don't mean that didn't happen to somebody's family. But what it means is that that's not all of our narrative. All of us didn't come from that. We've always been free. And they said we wasn't free. That's why we fought, and we struggled, and we persevered, and we survived, and we're still here. So, to say all that and to wrap it up, when you look at red, gold, black, and green in those balloons, that red stands for the bloodshed that was shed by all the brothers and sisters that were sold and stole and captured and taken far, far, far home, away from home, from their mother, Mama Africa, to be enslaved and captured and used and abused for another culture's benefit in this wild wilderness called America. The gold, the yellow, stands for all the riches, all the elements, all the ores, all the beauty of the universe that is found in Mama Africa, that has been taken and raped and pillaged and sent all over the world to make every culture happy except for Mama Africa. The green stands for the land from which we were taken from and somehow tried to be disconnected to from their false narratives and their evil storylines, to know that that is our home as well. Africa is our home and America is our home, because we were the original explorers of this earth. We were the original maritime sailors of this earth. We already had navigation routes to this country thousands of years before some slave trade. And the black stands for the black skin that they will never, ever destroy, because we still here, and we still prospering, and we're even more beautiful and more strong today.
That's right.
Red, gold, black, and green. You know what I mean? So I'm going to take a sip of this water, and I'm going to give y'all one piece of poetry. But before I say that, a brother shared with me this. Brothers and sisters, y'all love each other, and y'all love others, and those that are doing less fortunate and being less fortunate, love them too, because part of the plan was to pit Christian blacks against Muslim blacks, northern blacks against southern blacks,
Start the track as soon as Ryan gets done.
educated blacks against uneducated blacks, light-skinned blacks against dark-skinned blacks. It has been a master plan to divide and conquer and to keep us from knowing that we are brothers and sisters forever and evermore and forever strong. So a brother told me this poem a while ago, because I get so tired of black people talking so bad about each other and hurting one another in this gang violence and all of this other stuff. A brother told me, a razor can cut paper, but it can't cut a tree. An axe can cut a tree, but it can't cut grass. So if you're looking down at somebody, you best be admiring their shoes.
Hello, family. It's Sage coming back to you once again. Shout out to our brother Ryan for those prolific words of wisdom and inspiration on our Juneteenth portion of the Chop Chop Shop. And shout out to Thomasville. Like, I'm really proud that you guys are, as a community, you seem to be doing something great for our people. You are a prime example of black excellence, and here at the Chop Chop Shop we feel that because we want to promote that as well. And shout out to a brother. If you guys know this guy, he came into my business the other day and he bought like 75 to 100 pairs of sandals, and he was on his way to Latin America to deliver sandals. Wasn't a part of any specific charity. This is something that he took upon himself, and he happened to share. I was so impressed, and he happened to share with me that he was a barber in Thomasville. So if anyone knows a Hispanic barber who recently took a trip to deliver sandals to Latin America, hit us up in the comments. Let us know. We want to give him his proper due. But there seems to be a spirit of philanthropy and giving back and taking care of one another in Thomasville, and we admire that. So kudos to you guys. So Sage is here, and this is the Father's Day portion of the Chop Chop Shop. To all the fathers who go out into that jungle every single day and make it happen because your family, your home is a priority. Shout out to you guys for being an example. We love you with everything that's in us. For the father who is trying to be present, but due to baby mama drama or quote unquote justice, because that term is used loosely, you can't be the father that you want to be. I see your heart. Continue to do what you are allowed to do. Have faith. Give that child the best part of you every time that you have the opportunity. They see it, and they will appreciate it. For my fathers who, bro, you may be missing the mark. We know it. You know it. We pray that you find the insight to get yourself together. That whatever's missing, whatever's lacking, comes to you. And in no uncertain way, you know that there was a higher power that led you to be what you need to be for yourself first, and then for that baby. Listen, my sisters, because we are a prime contributor sometimes to why these men don't show up and do what they need to do. My sisters, please stop using these babies as a pawn. These babies came through you, not to you. They don't belong to you. They belong to the universe. Your job is to nurture and to guide. But it's not your job alone. Let the Father have his part. At some point in time, you loved him. You cared about him. That good part in him, allow him to share that with the child. Allow him the opportunity to be, to show who he is, to show his heart. That child is going to appreciate it. And if you don't allow it when that child is older, there's going to be resentment for you. There's going to be resentment for the father. And that creates tension in our community that we don't need. Okay? Now, to those who don't have any father figure, gentlemen, if you see a child in your community that there's no father, no grandfather, no uncle, no older brother, but you see the child needs something and you got a little extra time, step up. Take them for ice cream. Take them to a museum, a baseball game, a football game, a picnic. Sometimes all these children need is to know that there is a male figure who cares. Now, I need for you to have the best intentions, and you creepers, please stay away. But for those of you who have the best intentions and want to see the next generation become great, take time out and share who you are. Some words of wisdom, some pearls. Give them to the next generation. I promise it'll make a huge difference. And when they become their best selves, they'll remember to speak about Mr. John down the street, that just sat on the porch with me and told me stories about, his life. Sometimes it's something just that simple. We need for you to show up. Prime example, I'll share my story. My father died when I was 11, but I had the most amazing uncle. Shout out to John Harris Harrison Sr. May he continue to rest in paradise. He taught me how to ride my bike. He taught me how to drive. He taught me how to fish, which is a very important skill when it all falls down and, we can't go to the grocery store. I know how to go catch a fish. I watched him fix cars. I was privy to conversations probably that I shouldn't have heard, but it was those same conversations that changed my life and made me the woman that I am now. It's all about being present. There was nothing that I could go to him and ask that he didn't provide. When I was a kid, looking back now, I just thought he was present on Christmas Eve hanging out with my mom because that was his sister, his only sister. Just, chilling on Christmas Eve. I understand now he was there fixing my toys. He was being Santa Claus. It's so simple. Listen, fellas, no one requires you to be perfect. We just require you to show up. Your children only require you to show up. And if you can do that for us, we'll be forever and eternally grateful. And as a final tribute to you guys on Father's Day, because everyone knows that Sage loves the fellas. And in the same energy as Brother Ryan earlier, with his spoken word, I'm just going to drop some jewels on you. I hope you appreciate it. Your work is not in vain. Your vision is seen. Your legacy is in place. There will be purpose for your being. The time was well spent. The effort was worth the strain. Seeds you planted will grow. The memory of you is ingrained. Thank you for your leadership, your counsel, your discipline, and your guidance. Thank you for your tolerance, your patience, and even your finance. The love you feel may not always be shown with kisses and a warm embrace, but we see through your eyes' window and the expressions on your face. All you do make our lives easier. You've paved the way, and for being a blessing, we honor you today. Daddies, uncles, brothers, sons, if you ever took the time to love a child, a big old kiss from Sage on behalf of all your loved ones. That's all we have for you today, family. We love you so very, very much. Continue. Each one, teach one. I know it sounds cliche, but it's a cliche because it works. It's true. Until the next episode, one love from Sage and D. Wells in the building. Have the most amazing day. Mwah.
There comes a time and place where a man has to fight for what he wants and what he needs, and for what I want and what I need, and I need my babies. It's D. Wells in the building again. Let me tell you. No bullshit. Our little Dennis the Menace is a motherfucking genius. You hear the shit he's spitting? In spite of trauma, he's forgiving the way that we live in. In spite of all the selfish acumen, our little man is representing. Jesus Christ, are you listening? Our little man is a little man with his own opinions, and he understands. Only 7 and he really get it. He really understand. He really sit me down, Daddy, listen to this plan. I know you in another state and I don't understand, but you and mommy still can be friends, and my mommy is my daddy's brother. That's some shit she said undercover. She don't know I know that, but I still love her. Santa Claus is hitting different this year, though. Everybody's talking like we're weirdos. Yes, I did.
Hey guys, I want you to know something. Me and my dad aren't together anymore. Well, we are in our hearts, but we want to make this clear and serious. So, all the kids and all the parents, just listen to this. So, me and my dad were having a great time, and then we couldn't be together anymore because Mom and Dad couldn't be alone anymore, so we just had to move away from each other. But I'm gonna get a house, a new house. But I want you guys to know that we still love each other, and we still know that we still love each other, and we know that we have love in our hearts all the time, and always happy to be happy, and just don't cry if you don't have a dad or a mom that doesn't live with you anymore. Just want you to know that we will see each other still.
my young king, and I have a young princess, but that was my thoughtful young king at the age of 7 years old. You know, it's an honor and a privilege to be the term that they call dad, and in spite of what labels that people may put on you and unrecognized sacrifices that you might make, we know what I, I get so emotional when I think about the nuances that I'm missing, the little growth of spurts and slang and habits, sounds, appetites that you miss out on, and you have to be strong enough to endure to be the presentation of this package of father, in spite of the fact that this is not what you wanted, but for damn sure to fight like hell to be the template, in spite of I don't see the road in front of me. I don't know how this is going, but I know that I gotta be strong as a father. I don't have the support system that I used to have, and there were a lot of us that are not being supported. There's an algorithm right now that perpetuates men like me to not be in the home, to not be in the home with the children, like, and no matter what happened, your heart is there, and he'll say, that nigga ain't shit, but do you know our hearts? Do you know the pain and struggle that I go through every day to smile at a customer at my job when all I can think about is playing basketball or taking my daughter shopping or going to soccer practice or being displaced from my home that I created with her? People just don't know, but they see, and they go off of what they see without knowing. And this shit hurts, man. Like, it really fucking hurts. It's like it's excruciating. Every day you gotta walk around with a smile. My money not adding up. I can't do what I want to do, send what I want to send, see how I want to see. And I pick up the phone. He picks up the phone and he's like, hello? Can I talk to them? No. He's at practice. He's playing. This is chess. This ain't checkers, goddammit. You know, when you bring children into this life, this earth, this place, it is no longer about you, it's about them. And the work that has to be done, it's for them. And we must must learn how to be selfless. We must learn how to be selfish, selfless. If we want to enjoy this perfect picture, this perfect package. Oh yeah, they got the nice house, they got the nice cars, and the job is incredible, and yeah, we go on vacations, we're going to Spain next month. Why are there so many families like this? You know, thank God for Juneteenth, because in the circle of things, it's all related. You have to know your history. You have to know the plans. You have to know the strategies. Your strategy for success and the strategies that are pointed at you to say, he will not succeed, Father. 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 Daddy. Abba. The definition of success, or the definition of insanity, is to do the same thing and expect a different result. So men evolve, men make mistakes, but men evolve. But it takes two to tango. So if men are evolving, wouldn't it be that poignant for the women to evolve with them? Women were put here as a counterpart to men. But if there are two corporations in a home, this corporation might be focusing on marketing, and this corporation might be focusing on profit margins. But at the end of the day, there's a board and you can be voted out. I love my babies. I even love my exie. I will never take for granted the precious moments, the conversations, the walks, the intimacy. But if we take these precious moments for granted, you just another motherfucker on the radio crying. You just another angry, waiting to exhale, Beyonce, fuck man, and all my single ladies, Ain't none of y'all single ladies out there, y'all don't want to be single. Y'all looking for a forever partner. And y'all talking about hot girl summer. Y'all need to play house. That's all I got to say about that right now. Thank y'all for tuning into the Chop Chop Shop this Juneteenth, Father's Day 2022. As Sage eloquently put it, we got nothing but love for you. We celebrate our beauty, we celebrate our articulation, we celebrate our growth, we celebrate our success. If you win, then I win, because guess what? People are gonna notice. They are going in the direction that we need to pay attention so that we all. Does that make sense? God bless you. I mean, really, God bless you. Like, if I ever said something slick or you ever said something slick to me, it's all good, man. Like, I'm a grown ass man. It's nothing. What you eat don't make me shit. Facts. It's your boy D Wells in the building. This is volume 5 of the Chop Chop Shop, and I want to end this thing on a couple of things. To my baby girl Jaden, I want to throw her song, and then we're gonna end it on some poetry from my man Ryan, and we thank you. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Like, keep tuning in. It's only getting better, and we just getting started. It's your boy D Wells in the building, and I'm here with Sick.
Say.
Hey, peace. Volume 5.
This is to my daughter. This is to my daughter, Jada. You're so beautiful, Daddy really love you so. Daddy really love you. You inspire me. You inspire me. Inspire me.
Jada, I love you. From mommy.
My daughter's dope. Let me say that again. My daughter is dope. Let me tell y'all why. She's got a beautiful face, doesn't show her talents, but she still is fly. I mean, I say no, but she still got that determined look in her eye. And when her mother tells her how life is, she look her dead in the face and be like, Mommy, why? I don't even know what her skill is. But out of all the chicks that I know, I'm gonna say she's the realest. Realest, get it? Even when I'm like yelling at her and I'm like, yo, Jay, what the deal is? She looking at me so funny with her teachers and stuff. She's a real kid.
She's my sunshine. She's my sunshine. She's my firstborn. And he died to be a father. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mama always be your daddy. And he died to be your father. But father's always gonna be your daddy. You can always come to me. I'm here and I ain't going nowhere. I'm here and I ain't going nowhere unless God he takes me there. And you never know what's God be like. Yeah, 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 yeah. Dad's looking down on
She ain't even square. She's a real miss. And I be seeing her, she don't even know I'm staring. And I be like, she's a genius. Because how come every time I see her, she's at the top of the pile? I mean, friends be like following her. And they be jocking her style. And well, when she be talking, my friends be straight listening. Watch, because like, even when their lip gloss is popping and their whole style is listening, they got glow. I seen her go from the block to the church, from the hood to the burbs, and she slinging them verbs. I mean, like, Justin Bieber's a man's, but she like One Direction with all of them words. And then she be mumbling, listen to Uzi Vert. Disney Channel going on, and I'm like, what? So, this is why I think my daughter's dope. Plus, honestly, she always steal my role. I don't know how she did that. I like it. Trying to come out the shower, she somewhere, my robe is balled up in the laundry in the middle front room, closet or something, man. She's dope. And, you're upstairs probably listening, but I hope you're listening right now. Your father loves you, and I'm so proud of you. You're the most important thing. You're my first. You're my worst, and you're my first. And, if look, I just want to sing to you in a way that you hear everything through life, through your headphones. Your father loves you, and he always will. Through your headphones. I'm hugging you right now. Your mother in heaven, your grandmother in heaven, should be so proud. That's all I got for right now. Your father loves you. Jacob, Diana, Wells. What? Yeah, but you said a gun load? Oh, gummo, like gun ammo, gummo. That's
There's a remix of the song with Offset.
so.
Yeah.
So you can call it 6 set. Okay, that was bad.
Listen.
Well,
Anyway,
as long as you're happy, we're happy. Are you happy?
I've never heard any of you say that to me in my life.
I say it all the time. You better stop.
I've never heard either.
Jaden, I'm so glad I'm not standing next to you and lightning can't strike me down because you're bugging.
I woke up and the Most High God put on my mind, my black. So I got my phone and started writing on my phone. I only had one eye open. I didn't even wash the, you know how you get that little yellow white stuff in your eye. I didn't even wash it out my eye. I only had one eye open like this. And I said, if the Father put this on my head for me to wake up out my sleep first thing in the morning, the first thing on my mind is my black, I better write something too. I better go with it. Now, little did I know, the day before, some white supremacists went through Buffalo, New York, and shot up some people in a grocery store. Some coward, that is. That's why I ain't never been scared of the Ku Klux Klan or any white supremacists. Thomasville didn't raise me to be scared. I ain't never scared. And then I found out on the very same day or the day before something, some coward white supremacist shot up some Asian people, 70, 80, 90 years old, who was at some religious ceremony. Some coward. So we, as a black people, as the original people, we have never been scared. So, I came with this piece, and this piece goes as this. My black. In the beginning, there was darkness, and God said, let there be light. That makes my black original, right? My black, it comes from a place of beauty and grace, not some curse, discourse, or disgrace. My black is not a race, like something to be won or lost, something white supremacy distaste at any cost, or attempt to replace or erase. My black has earned its place on Mama Earth and in God's space. My black can't be bought or sold. My black is neither new or old. My black comes from parables, history, fables, stories, and mysteries that are told, that comes out of the mouths of black storytellers, ancestral griots, whispers and shouts. Listen up, gather about. Our truths are coming out. My black ain't woke. It's always been and will forever continue spread throughout. My black, in the beginning, there was darkness, and God said, let there be light. In the beginning, that makes my black original, godly, and just right. I am the black light, right? My black is the black to light, right? Right. Show enough, right? Show you right. My black. Thank you, Thomasville. You made me who I am.